New videos every day.
Today we're going to be doing a video on eugenics. And what eugenics is, it's basically sex and reproduction control. Now I'm going to bring up some points on this, and they're going to be controversial. So if you disagree, just go ahead and leave as many comments as you want. Now, the first point I want to bring up is that no matter how you justify it philosophically, eugenics is selective breeding of a human being. Just like you would selectively breed a farm animal or a dog, eugenics is selectively breeding a human being. And that fact is simply inescapable. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, used to say, quote unquote, "What we want to do is breed a thoroughbred." See, it is selective breeding. So this brings up the question of who is doing the selecting. Now, in the wild, animals have evolved to have a natural sexual selection. But when you breed them, you're taking away that natural aspect of sexual selection and having somebody else do the sexual selection for them. Whenever the government or society engages in eugenics, the individual's right to choose a mate is taken away. In other words, you as the individual no longer has the choice of what mate you have. It's given to a higher authority. Now you might be saying, wait. Not all types of eugenics means I can't marry the person that I want or marry the person that I choose. Well, yeah, you can marry whoever you want, but we're just going to sterilize you or not allow you to have children with this particular person. So they're not taking away your right to marry whom you choose, but they are taking away the right to have babies or children with the person that you choose. And those are called reproductive rights, which are listed in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which brings up another point. Whenever you practice eugenics at all in a society, it will inevitably and always lead to human rights violations. Now, whenever we're talking about eugenics, it's always divided into two camps. The selected, those who are chosen to reproduce or those who are chosen not to reproduce, and the selector. Now, the selector is in control, while the selectees are being controlled. So let's take the analogy of agriculture. The farmer is the selector, while the livestock is the selectees. So whenever the selector makes these selections, it's a judgment call. It's basically his opinion deciding what's suitable or unsuitable, what's fit and what's not fit. So we have the selector who's making all these decisions about what's fit, what's unfit, who gets to reproduce and who doesn't get to reproduce, which brings up the question of who the hell is this selector? What makes his opinion more valid than the rest of us? Does he have some kind of superior insight into the perfect human being? I mean, when most of us choose someone to be with, a mate, a husband, a wife, boyfriend, or girlfriend, we're usually looking for the best qualities, and we're usually able to make judgments for ourselves. So what makes his opinions more valid than the ones that he is choosing for? So you see, eugenics is selective breeding in human beings. That's what it is. So that brings up the question of whether or not man is to be trusted involved in eugenics. If we look back in history at examples of when man was involved in selective breeding, has that resulted in a superior or more fit species or not? So let's look at an example. Let's take dogs. Look at what selective breeding has done to the wolf. From the wolf, we've got chihuahuas, we've got pugs, we've got poodles. Now, are any of these new species any more fit for survival than a wolf? I don't think so. Come to think of it, has any of the new breeds of dogs become more suitable or more fit for survival than the wolf? So natural selection or evolution always makes an animal that is more adapted or more suitable or more fit for an environment, whereas selective breeding makes an animal that is more suitable or fit to a human whim or a human opinion. So this brings up a point which most people tend to ignore, is that most people assume that there's this universally agreed upon concept of what a perfect human being is, and that if the government was to engage in eugenics, they would do it in the direction of this universally agreed upon concept of an optimum human being. But when we look at selective breeding in the animal kingdom, we don't see that. Man doesn't breed livestock to be suitable for the environment. He breeds livestock to be suitable to his own needs. So let's look at a few examples. The dog that is bred for racing. Now, these dogs aren't necessarily suitable in a natural environment. They're not the most hardy dogs or sturdy. They're bred for speed. Other dogs are bred to be mean, to be attack dogs. Other dogs are bred to be cute, just in general, just to look cute. Now, we don't see a dog that has been bred specifically to be more suitable than the original wolf. Now, here's something I bet you didn't know. In World War II, Adolf Hitler actually funded experiments to impregnate chimpanzees with human semen. He figured that since chimpanzees are so much stronger than humans, actually 3 times stronger than humans, and they are typically very stupid animals, he could breed this mega soldier that could be easily controlled and would be super strong in the fighting area. So in my opinion, if the government did start doing eugenics, we would begin to see areas of specialization, meaning we would start to see a group of people who were bred to be obedient workers, or people who were bred to be soldiers, good fighters, or people who were bred to be the beautiful ones that are used for prostitution, or there might be an intellectual elite. Because what we see in selective breeding is always these areas of specialization. You never see an animal bred just benevolently to be better. You always see it go in some direction of specialization. So whenever a society involves itself in eugenics, it's immediately creating a sort of caste society. In other words, it's immediately dividing it into different groups, which have different levels of rights. In other words, eugenics automatically creates social inequality. So at the onset, the beginning of eugenics, society is automatically divided into at least 2 groups. Those who are fit to reproduce and those who are unfit to reproduce. In other words, those who have the right to reproduce and those who don't have the right to reproduce. So social inequality is inherent in eugenics, period. So what happens 4 or 5 generations after this begins? Well, you're going to have this group that's the superhumans and those that were left to natural selection. What kind of rights are these super beings going to have over the others? Videos coming up. A video on Adolf Hitler and some facts you might not know about him. Also, cannabinoid receptors. Some people believe that there are receptors in the mind to react with marijuana. Is the mind naturally evolved to get high or not? Thank you for watching. Please rate my video and we'll see you next time.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.